Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of the Key Yard podcast.
Hi.
Boy, I can't believe we've got to 4 episodes. This week's episode is sponsored by Power Gen Ittles, when you literally want the sun to shine out of your ass.
Ooh, sounds sparkly.
How'd you like that one?
If I had to give a review, probably 8 out of 10, just in case it starts to sweat underneath.
Good stuff. All right. Well, thank you again for tuning in to this podcast. We've had some very nice feedback so far. We've now set up a YouTube channel where you can find optimized versions of the topics that we've covered on this podcast so far, as well as them in full, uncut, unedited, uncensored, unbelievable.
Unjust,
exactly. Right, so how you been, KB?
Not too bad. I've had a little bit of had to do a bit of a run this morning, but enough small talk. So what have I got as my recent story? Speaking of the YouTube. The YouTube, I sound like an old woman.
The YouTube. That YouTube with the computer and the video was on.
I got a letter in the mail like they used to get in the olden days, and you can see it says Google My Business on the back. So, when I was setting up the account and everything, it said, do you want to set this up as a business free of charge? I was like, I guess. So I just went and did it anyway. I know it like a proper business per se. Like we're just starting out, but they gave us the option. So I was like, okay, we can have our own directory on Google and stuff. So if I cover my address, you can see it. It's probably on there. It says, oh, "Don't dox me."
Camera.
Can you? Key Yard Media. There we go. We are live.
Very nice. Very nice. We're officially a thing now. That's
I know.
Bizarre.
And it was just like only yesterday we had a yellow overlay, and now today we had... Actually, no, that was last podcast. Before that, we had a yellow overlay, and now we have a red one, and other colours, whatever it is. Hey, Scurvy, we're a business now, so address us as Mr... last name that I never used, just
Mr. Key and Mr. Yard.
Mr. Key and Mr. Yard, sir.
We'll be like the G-Man from Half-Life or something. Just go under like a weird pseudonym, and we don't know whether one of us is an alien or not.
And be an entire mystery because you don't know where we live. The funny thing is, when I was setting that up, it did say like what address, where do you want this to be based? So I put 3 addresses. I put Cardiff, then I put Bedfordshire just to like not narrow it down too much for you, and then I put London. Imagine if we ever collabed in London, it's the central piece of the entire thing.
Yeah,
Sir Key and Duke Yard. Okay, that is
Sir Key and Duke Yard.
I love that. Officially our things from now on. Do not interrupt the Sir.
Duke
do not
Yard. I'm so happy to be Duke Yard. That is an awesome name. Thanks, Scurvy. Appreciate that.
Do not scrutinise the Sir and do not disrespect the Duke.
Yeah. We are recording this, dear watcher or listener, whatever you may be doing, on Saturday the 12th, of September. I still don't know what day it is. My interesting news, if that's your interesting news that you're finished with, which is very interesting indeed.
It's our interesting news. Let's be wholesome.
Yeah, this is the wholesome content that everyone's here for right there.
Oh, yeah.
Another thing that's wholesome and consensual, don't know if that's a word, but never mind.
I thought you said consensual then. I was like, oh.
Consensual.
We definitely don't want to be inconsensual. Stay away from that boat.
We're going there. It's already going off the rails already. What are we now, like 5 seconds into this new episode? So the big news for me this week is that I'm actually going back to work on Monday after approximately 6 months of furlough.
I don't know whether I should clap or not. Should I? I mean, how do you feel about that?
Will it clip the levels? Is that the danger here? I'm delighted, but yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Small clap.
It's like the world's smallest violin clap, isn't it?
The world's smallest violin.
I've been off furlough since June, so Yeah, that would probably explain a bit of a slowdown with my YouTube videos, despite the fact that I try at least a week to put stuff out. And it's more of like, when you get that call, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I've got to change everything now.
Groundskeeper Willie, back to the luck with you. Whereas I have been on furlough since mid-April this year, sitting at home doing pretty much sod all. But now I'm very happy to say that I'll be back working for my company from Monday onwards.
Nice.
So at least there is some good news from Monday onwards, as opposed to the obvious main news from Monday onwards about the groups of 6.
Yeah.
I mean, my furlough experience had its ups and downs, really. I started this podcast for one, which is obviously
that's obviously a down, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, obviously one of the worst decisions I've ever made, but that's neither here nor there. I've got on with a lot more music since I've been my own music. Been making a lot more music since we've gone into lockdown. I've been immersed in the wide world of Twitch, discovering several great communities, including this one, including Mosh Talks, Gemma Edwards, Matt Heafy's Twitter. We'll get on to Trivium later, but
okay, yeah.
Sorry, it's Matt Heafy, isn't it? Not Heafy. That's always one of those confusing names.
I've always said Matt Heafy, to be honest.
It's Heafy, apparently.
Is it? Oh,
yeah,
news to me.
And actually lost a fair bit of weight as well since lockdown started.
I'm the complete opposite.
Nearly 2 stone. So I was quite pleased with myself. But yeah, I'm not really going to miss not working, really. I think I had my fill by the 3rd month or so,
You gotta have something to do, haven't you? Like when I was on furlough, because there was the mix of the peak of COVID. I essentially was reviving my YouTube somewhat, but definitely had a lot more time to kind of think about it a bit more. And I was planning to revive it before that, so I had all the time. But as soon as I came back to work, I understood. Look, I am gonna be back 9 till 5, so it is gonna be a bit of a nuisance.
What a way to make a living!
A nuisance that gets me paid and utilizes my day skill. But it's also, it's an opportunity for me to structure my time a bit better as well. So I think there's the positives you got to take out of it as well.
Well, key word there, structure. That's what I was gagging for ages during this thing.
Yeah,
I felt life felt. I mean, the whole thing about this pandemic is it's so unstructured, no one knows what's going on. But I need plans in place and set in motion.
I know that just by your handwritten things of downloaders. Like, is this band going to clash and this band going to clash?
I must explain what you're there. Before every download, I basically try and come up with a near bulletproof itinerary of our plans for that week.
And I'm more of a
did you bring this? I need to bring this, and that. I need to do this, and that. Need to bring a proper chair this time. Need to bring this X amount of rubbish bins.
Yeah, I'm just the kind of person who plays it by ear. But I've learnt the hard way when it comes to going to download from the first year that there are certain essentials that you definitely need to bring. Like wellies are an entire must. I don't think there is anything more important, except for a tent, of course. But who's going to forget a tent? We'll
probably get into that. I think that'll be a very informative podcast if we get into the logistics of download and the obstacles.
Yeah, I mean,
one might face.
We could even have like a whole podcast on it if
that could be good.
If it's if it does fit like an hour discussion or more.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyway, Scurvy has been saying that they've been at home since COVID started being a real threat.
Yeah.
With working from home as well. Well, I mean, I'm working from home initially, and then what they're going to do is they're going to gradually bring people back into our office in London. But supposedly we're going to have temperature checks every day for everyone that comes in.
They've already had that.
I think it's a wise decision, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was in Uxbridge last night, meeting up with our good friend Dan, who I work with.
That's the thing I miss, see, because like in terms of like most of my friends are in England and London around you guys, so it does get a bit lonely for me. Not gonna lie, but
Oh yeah,
I'll have to find a time to come up and you know do like an office space podcast or something like that. Who knows?
sure. We've got MS Winfield in the chat, who says, I ditched wellies for proper walking shoes a couple of years ago for download. Much better. Hi, Michael. Nice to see you. I mean, yeah, for me, wellies all the way. Like, I remember at one point at download, I had to actually tape my wellies to my jean leg with like black gaffer tape, just so that water wouldn't seep in.
Yeah.
Because, my wellies were kind of quite open at the top and they were getting soaked. My feet were getting soaked. So I ended up wrapping around my welly with black gaffer tape, which ended up causing a massive rash on my leg. So not a great idea, really. But
you know how much I complained last year because I borrowed my stepdad's steel toe boot wellies. Not the best thing to be walking around in. My heels were absolutely killing me at the end of it. Like I was actually considering skipping Tool because I was in so much pain. But at the end, I was just like, look, just wait it out, everything. And the worst thing was, everywhere was so damp, so you couldn't bloody sit down that easily. So,
it was such a mission to sit down anywhere at Download last year. It really was. But yeah, my steel toe cap experience at festival was that last time I saw Slayer ever at Sonosphere.
Yeah.
I accidentally kicked the back heel of a guy who was wearing steel toe boots.
Okay.
And my toenail was black for about several months afterwards.
I'm going to start calling you Aragorn.
Not a very pleasant thing.
I'm going to start calling you Aragorn now. You know that
Aragorn Blackfoot.
Yes. You know that scene in Two Towers when he kicks the helmet, but he actually broke his toe.
Well, the thing with Peter Jackson was he was a bit of a perfectionist in that scene. So he was like, the first two takes were like really good, and you can actually see the whole thing on YouTube, all the takes that he was doing and the whole story behind it. And it's a scene where Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli find the charred remains of the orc encampment where Merry and Pippin were captured.
Yeah.
And Aragorn kicks the helmet in frustration. And on the third take, Viggo Mortensen broke his toe. And they left that take in the movie.
Yeah. Duke Aragorn Blackfoot, wielder of tape.
Love
your castle.
Love it, Scurvy.
Your moat and everything. All right.
But yeah, basically, I can't wait to get back to work, and I hope I haven't forgotten everything, essentially. But yeah, my furlough experience was up and down. I was, I stopped drinking for a bit, then I resumed drinking a lot. I got to meet up with my mates a fair bit, but it's just, what can you do, really? Just try and amuse yourself.
I mean, like, I know people who drink...
But this podcast came out of it, so...
Yeah, I know people who do drink on the job when they're working from home, but I'm just not one of those people. I need coffee rather than alcohol to work. So that's
but
me.
Yeah, I like I said, I was in Uxbridge last night. I met up with Dan and Joe from our download group. It was his birthday.
Yeah.
And we basically just all sat in this field.
Oh, good.
Kind of like it was our last night of freedom before the 6-person rule went into effect.
Yeah.
And Uxbridge is a long, long way from the centre of London.
I know, because Katie goes to uni in Cambridge, and that's like 4 hours from here. It's a nightmare.
It's a lot. It's a really deceptively long way. It's better to drive there rather than get tube. But I had to get the night bus back, basically. And I got in at about 5 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
So if I seem a little bit groggy, by the way... and a bit hungover, that's why.
Oh, imagine if Fulham did beat Arsenal earlier.
Oh, God.
You'd be even worse.
I'd be even worse. To say, we'll get on that in a minute. But that's my interesting news anyway. So,
yeah.
I guess, shall we move on to news topics of the day?
Well, I think we do have some football news covered up in terms of...
Well, I mean, I guess we could segue nicely into the main news that's come in just before we started this podcast is that Arsenal beat Fulham 3-0 on the opening game of the season, and I was obviously delighted.
Lacazette scoring the first goal. He's on my fantasy Premier League bench, so I put him back on. I was like, oh, bloody hell, I just missed that. And you told me not to put him on the team. You were like, oh, he might be...
Willian, new boy with 2 assists.
He was really
Gabriel,
good, yeah.
new boy with a goal and a clean sheet. Things seem to be looking up. Unfortunately, the news that has just filtered through from my mate just before we started is that Martinez is going to have a medical at Aston Villa this afternoon.
Gabriel Martinez?
No, Emiliano Martinez.
The goalkeeper.
Our goalkeeper.
Oh man!
And I am absolutely, I'll be absolutely gutted if he goes anywhere, because I really think he proved he was worth his salt last season, especially during the cut run.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He was at Arsenal for, I covered this in one of our previous podcasts, but he's been at Arsenal for years and years, since about 2011 or something, and he just never really seemed to get his due until until last season, really, where he basically disposed Leno as our number 1 keeping choice.
Yeah.
But he wasn't even in the squad today. Like, we had Leno starting the game and Matt Macy on the bench. But I think it'd be a real shame if he goes, considering we've now finally, I can't remember the last time we had 2 world-class goalkeepers in our team. And so what if, they're trying to vie for each other's place? Just do a rotation system.
How many goalkeepers have you got at the moment besides those? Who's the other one besides Leno?
Just those 3. So it's Bernd Leno, Emiliano Martinez, and Matt Macy, who's basically our reserve keeper, who's never played for us.
So why would you get rid of Martinez?
I think he's played one. I think he's played in 1 cup game.
Are Arsenal trying to target another transfer? Is that why they're trying to sell Martinez?
I feel like it might be. I'm hoping that it's maybe trying to get money in for the Partey deal, potentially.
Thomas Partey, yeah, because he's like valued at like 30, 40 million, something like that, or is it 50?
Something like that. He's an expensive man,
Yeah.
And,
he's a good midfielder, and I think...
And we want him. We need quality in midfield, because right now we don't... I mean, today's performance aside, where I thought we were absolutely superb.
From what I saw, yeah. But I'll agree.
We need that sparking quality in them. I don't trust Xhaka or El Neni to carry the whole team for the season.
Yeah, and I think if I may talk about on the other side, it's proven as well that this trying to find this second striker is proving really difficult for Spurs. But all I see on Twitter blowing up is, even if like Japhet Tanganga is announced number 25, people are still replying to Spurs saying sign a striker, all over that. I think that's kind of disrespectful to Japhet, because like that's his post. There's no need. I get it. I get that we need a second striker, but not to overshadow somebody else's achievement, especially someone who's just risen up from the ranks. And then I think we were looking at Patson Daka from RB Salzburg, and he was valued at like 30 or 20 million, something like that, and he's staying at the club now, which is he's regarded as the second coming of Pele. Just to give him a bit of a description. And
the thing is, right, just to interject, with any footballer that's labelled as the next so-and-so, it never turns out very well. I remember a guy who played for Liverpool years ago called Bruno Cheyrou, who was hailed as the next Zinedine Zidane. Yeah, he was hailed as the next Zinedine Zidane, but he was pretty awful.
And not Messi. Sorry, Lamella Koff, I should say.
Yeah, Lamella Koff.
Like he's good.
Is he still at Spurs, Lamella?
Yeah, he's not generally the first picked. He's not picked for the first team a lot, but he's all right. He's good. He scores goals and stuff. But like he was very very well overhyped like years ago. And
he scored a really fantastic goal.
When was that?
I think it was a couple of years ago. It might have been like a kind of Bergkamp-esque sort of dummy goal, and it was brilliant to watch.
Okay,
I've got to say, even though I'm an Arsenal fan, I hate Spurs.
I know, and I hate Arsenal. I love that we hate each other.
The feeling is very much mutual between us of our hatred of each other's clubs. I suppose now's as good a time as any then to get on to the other news, football-based news.
Yes.
We have, which is the FIFA ratings have just been announced.
Right, and to introduce something new to the podcast, I just did a bit of tweaking earlier. Ta-da!
Now, hopefully you can see that. Hopefully, we've switched screens now,
And look at this cursor; it's going to distract you all the time.
We're showing a picture of Lionel Messi.
Yeah, so like I can still transfer back and forth, but essentially on Thursday it got announced that the ratings are in, so they've shown the top 100 ones. So I think what we should do is go through the list, say whether we agree with these or not, how they were. I can tell you how they were rated last game, if I can remember what they were rated or an estimate, and even so whether they deserve the rating or not. So without further ado, we got the first one up, our boy Lionel Messi. So he's rated 93. I think that's the same as last year. I think
now what's the highest he's ever got at?
94.
Rating-wise.
He was rated in FIFA 19, I believe. I don't know if he's ever been rated higher than 94 with a standard gold card.
I mean, this is probably sacrilege to say, but after the season he's had and the turmoil at Barcelona, I feel like he should be a little bit lower than that.
Yeah, probably 92
and plus
or 91.
He's getting up, and plus he's getting up there in years. I know he hasn't missed much of a beat, but he's in his mid-30s now.
Yeah, I just I think his pace decreases a lot from year to year. His dribbling is still, as you can see, at its peak. And then, I think his physicality's gone down a bit as well. Right there, I'm pretty sure it was a bit higher. But mainly, I think in FIFA 19, I think he was a central attack. Here he's a right wing. Bad news to all lefties out there. But, shooting on par, he scored that belter against Liverpool last year in the Champions League, the game that they were actually good in. Messi, I don't think Messi's much to blame for a lot of Barcelona's shortcomings in the recent times, but it is what it is, and hopefully this revitalization for the club will prove something for Barcelona.
Yeah, and when we say lefties, by the way, we mean presumably left-footed people.
I was going to say left wingers, but yeah.
Yeah.
So the next one, I want to go a bit quicker with this, just because there's 100.
Yeah. Let's pick up the pace with this.
Yeah. So there's Cristiano Ronaldo, 92 he was 94 in FIFA 19, then went down to 93 last year, and now he's 92.
Well, again, I think it's just an age thing, probably.
Possibly, yeah.
You feel like once players start going past 30 years old, they slowly descend from their peak,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I mean, obviously, it's far from the case with Messi and Ronaldo, but, I think that's just a general rule of thumb.
Yeah.
When it comes to FIFA.
Anyway, next one. This is your boy, Robert Lewandowski. Now,
I really like Robert Lewandowski. I think he's a fantastically talented footballer.
Yeah, I feel like he should be higher than Ronaldo, in my honest opinion. He has had an absolute belter of a season. This is EA we're talking about, and they only skim over things. But I think Lewandowski arguably has been the best striker in the world last season, in my honest opinion. And I think he should have been 92 or 93.
So are we going in order of the highest rated to low? Is he the third highest rated player in the game then, Lewandowski?
Yeah, third highest. And same rating as him is Kevin De Bruyne, no brainer. I mean, the guy is just an absolute machine. He's just the most well-rounded player of the Premier League, and I just don't think there's much getting around him, to be honest.
Yeah, again, fantastic footballer. Definitely scored my goal of the season last year against Newcastle.
Yeah, and seeing him against playing for Belgium as well, they've just got such a robust team at the moment. They've got so many world-class players on that team. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if they win the Euros.
Interestingly, no Liverpool players yet.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think it's weird because you get the stars of those sorts of leagues at the very top, the standout players, but then with the Premiership you get consistently high amount of players.
You know what? It's like Liverpool as a team unit are great.
Yeah,
those players you mentioned, they're kind of the sort of what want I say? I don't want to say they're one-man teams, but they're definitely the vanguard of the footballing ability at their respective clubs. You know?
Yeah. Next, I don't necessarily agree it should be this high, but here we have our other boy, I guess, Mr. Neymar.
Oh God.
Yeah. Well, I just
my favourite footballer.
that shooting is so inaccurate. There should be like 70 or something based on Titanic shots.
I mean, I think that's fair enough. Personally, he's a terrific footballer, but I just don't like him as a.
Yeah,
I think he's a little. He gets under my skin slightly, quite frankly.
Like the dribbling, like he's good at dribbling, but everything else, like when it comes to shooting and things like that, I just think he's suffered a bit in the Champions League so far. Anyway, next on our list, and this is the highest rated goalkeeper. Can you take a guess right off the bat? Who do you think it is?
Highest rated goalkeeper, Neuer, presumably.
No,
It
is Jan Oblak.
Oh yeah, that he was going to be my other guess.
I mean, yeah, he's just. I mean, he's just exceptional for Atletico, and his rate is just so good. And I don't think he's really missed much of a beat as of late. It's
Can't argue that.
Yeah. Here we go.
I think all these ratings are pretty fair and consistent so far. To be fair, and I don't really have any complaints about.
Yeah,
them.
I think in terms of like whether they should be a one rating higher or one rating lower, it's minor. But yeah, I can see what you mean. But next we've got Virgil van Dijk. Now, this is exactly the same as last year. I mean, he's just been consistent and all the rest of it. So I don't really have much quarrels there. I don't think many centre backs get rated higher than 90. So it is quite a high achievement for him alone to get. I mean,
he made the one mistake he made. Thankfully, he made against us when we played him in the league at home.
Yeah, but
I think we were the only one of 3 teams, was it, to beat Liverpool in the league last season, and it was thanks to Virgil van Dijk's mistake, basically, which is so uncharacteristic of him. Because you're right, he's been a top quality, consistent centre back for Liverpool.
The only time I seen him kind of cower away was the first leg of the Barcelona game, but besides from that, he came back swinging, and same goes for all that Liverpool team. Right, so next...
yeah, Scurvy, by the way, says good to see a Dutch player highlighted, even though I'm more into baseball.
Yeah,
but fair dues. Yeah, I mean, Holland. Actually, it's a bit that. You meant to say Netherlands, aren't you, Ron? Holland's a region.
Yeah.
The Netherlands are, I mean, football-wise, they've gone off the grid slightly in recent years. They used to be the golden era for me was when they had Van Persie, Van Nistelrooy, Wesley Sneijder, Arjen Robben.
It was like that 2006,
Edwin van der Sar. I mean, all
period,
these top-quality players. But, they may have a bit of a renaissance in them. I don't really know how I haven't been following the Nations League or anything, so I have no idea how they've been doing in that.
I mean that 2010 game against Spain in the finals, that was so close, and it was just from Iniesta just scoring that insane goal out of nowhere that just caught everyone off guard.
It wasn't quite as close when they played each other in the World Cup a few years later, and they got Spain got hammered by them 5-1, I think it was.
Yes, but I don't know. Spain have declined quite a bit, I think, in recent years. They used to have such a... I think a lot of their star players have aged quite a bit now as well. Like, David Silva's coming on a bit. He's Spanish, isn't he? Or is he Portuguese?
Yeah, he's quality. I think he's just left Man City as well.
Yeah,
I would have snapped him up in a heartbit. I think he's top quality.
Yeah.
Scurvy grew up in the Netherlands. They never had anything with football at all. That's surprising to me. I feel like Netherlands... over the with the Cruyffs and the Van Bastens and Dennis Bergkamps, I feel like they're quite a football centric nation. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know what Netherlands primary. I mean in Hungary apparently the primary sport there is handball. I believe.
Yeah. Well, moving on to the next one. This guy, I think he's just rising up to be possibly one of the best players in the world right now. Can you take a guess?
Best young player? Oh, Mbappe?
That is correct. Kylian Mbappe, 90. I think
Kylian Mbappe, I love him. He's brilliant.
I think, was he 87 last game or 88? He was one of those. But, or was he 89? either way, I mean, Mbappe is always going to be a top. Whenever anybody plays him in on Ultimate Team, the other team is pretty much screwed. I think is just no coming up against him. He's just that good.
I should point out, by the way, that I haven't played FIFA since FIFA 15.
Good. So you're not missing much.
So I've no idea how accurate in terms of how consistent the ratings have been over the past few games. I know I think that it's fair to say they're kind of been consistent, but if you draw like a graph, I couldn't tell you, if they've gone up, which ones have gone up, which ones have gone down, yada.
Well, I think was it 06? Messi was like 76 or something like that. And you're just like, what the fuck? So
apparently Mbappe is the cover star in FIFA 21. Michael Winfield says in the chat.
I mean, what's it called? I'm actually, and this is
I
breaking
think that's well
news.
deserved, personally. I think he's one of the best footballers in the world.
Yeah, and it's breaking news. I'm actually, instead of FIFA 21, I'm going to be getting Pro Evo with the season upgrade, because it's just Konami did the right thing, and they've said, look, we haven't, we can't update so many things in a year, so we've just this is our first game for cheap, and then you can get the season upgrade for 25 quid. And just like, yeah, but EA just money cows.
Yeah, they really they kind of. I can't really talk because I spend a lot of money on Twitch,
Yeah, but that's a choice,
But I do feel like EA are kind of bleeding a lot of.
It's the pay to win, and it's
your average game of dry. You have to, in order to have the best Ultimate Team, you have to spend like real money, and I think that's just, unlike fantasy football where you can choose any player you like within reason, and you don't have to spend a thing,
Yeah, it's just what is it?
Or champ manager, or
pay to win.
Like that,
I think is a bit of a fuel for in-game gambling in a way. I think
yes,
that's the problem.
Buying loot crates, and are loot crates still a thing? I'm
not as much as before. It's more Fortnite inspired season passes, didn't they? And season upgrades or whatever they're called. The things. Well,
I'm completely out of the loop when it comes to modern gaming.
But the thing is, like with games like Fortnite, you only pay extra for like the new skins and costumes and things like that. You don't pay to be better at the game, which is what FIFA Ultimate Team, I think it pushes forward, and as a result, it left a lot of competitive players quite angry at the game as a result. So,
So, do we have many more players to go? Or?
Yes, we do. So, this one's a bit of a tie. Well, it is a complete tie because we got Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane. So Sadio Mane is now caught up to Mohamed Salah. They got the exact same rating because they're
rated equally. That's very interesting.
I personally think that Mane was more consistent than Salah last season.
I think so as well. Yeah,
but
Salah had a blistering first couple of seasons for Liverpool, but there's no denying he's kind of got off the pace slightly.
Yeah,
he's still a quality player, but I think Mane has definitely outshone him this season. I agree with you.
Yeah, that's it really for that. I mean, Mane's had a good record with goals and things like that, and he's just so quick on the ball. I was watching because I've been going through the All or Nothing documentary. I was looking at the Man City one as well, and I could see it showed that red card that Mane got, where it was Edison's first game, and he got absolutely pelted and taken off the pitch because Mane he booted him in the head.
Yeah.
Or was it the chest one of those?
Fairs. I do seem to recall that. My memory's hazy of last season because last season was so long.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Was that last season or was that the season before?
Well, Man City.
Yeah.
No, it was was it 2017? I don't know. It was when Edison.
A couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, a couple of seasons ago.
Right, okay.
Next is Ter Stegen. No surprise, he's still the same. I mean,
still no Manuel Neuer. I find that hard to believe.
There's Alisson.
Oh, no way. I'm not having him rated at 90.
Why not?
No way. He's got a mistake in him, Alisson.
Yeah?
He's definitely got a mistake in him.
I think he gets rated high.
I know he's been fairly consistent for Liverpool, right?
But it's quite
I
easy.
dunno.
Hang on, sorry, bear with me. It is quite easy to be consistent for Liverpool when you've got one of the strongest defenses in the world. That's the thing I have. Like I'm not slagging off his performance. Like he's a good goalkeeper. He's a great goalkeeper, even, and he's done some wicked
I'd rate
saves.
him lower personally, but
But
what do I know?
It's how your defense is as well at the same time. So in that, then we've got Sergio Aguero. I don't think he's slowed down too much, but I think he'd probably go with an 88 in my opinion.
I mean, he's been so consistent for so long, Aguero, that I feel like he merits that rating at least. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. See,
You don't feel like he's ever gonna slow down. That's the thing about Aguero.
yeah, how old is he now? 31, 33?
He'll probably be. I imagine he'll be in his 30s.
Yeah,
by now.
but
Anyway, sorry. What was your next one?
that was Sergio Ramos, dick.
Yeah, everyone's favorite footballer, Sergio Ramos.
Everyone's favorite red-faced, red carder, all the rest of it.
I would love a defender like him, just an absolute shithouse, no nonsense. Just complains but someone who complains and hacks players down, but is actually good.
It's just the Real Madrid mentality, isn't it? In a nutshell.
Yeah,
but
get stuff done, But yeah, I just remember Liverpool fans were so annoyed after the Champions League final for his tackle on Salah.
Oh yeah. That was just such. I think that was quite a humiliating game for Liverpool because never mind that and the 2 goals, but it was like just Bale's goal to come off the rest of that.
That final, I was watching that final in Canterbury in Origins, the student bar on campus.
Yeah.
Do you remember Origins?
I remember Origins.
Yeah. Man, I
Ruby
miss
Tuesdays.
I miss Canterbury. Yeah, I miss Canterbury in general, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was watching that game. I'd already graduated uni at that point, but I came down just for a laugh, just for a few days for some gigs and what. I watched Champions League final and Origins, and every single goal had something to be apart from maybe Mane's, but first goal was like a horrible back pass that went awry. And stunned silence because it was mainly Liverpool fans. Although we had a fair share of Madrid fans, as evidenced by when Bale scored that overhead kick.
Yeah,
they absolutely went nuts, and I was just left mouth agape, just like I can't believe he's just done that.
And then you just wonder why Zidane is so harsh on him after that. But I digress. I mean, we've talked about that in the last podcast or the one before about how Bale's been treated and stuff. But speaking of Real Madrid, we've got Karim Benzema. I think he was 87 in the last game, so he's gone up a bit.
He's one of those players who he had a big reputation a number of seasons ago, but now not so much.
It's weird because Olivier Giroud, I think, has a better track record than Benzema, but Giroud is usually ranked lower than Benzema.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're committing some sort of sacrilege by saying that.
I just spit in facts, mate. I know I don't like Chelsea as much as you do.
As much as I do like Giroud, I've got to say, I don't really begrudge him all that much. To be fair, I know most people do. I don't begrudge any of the good players that at Arsenal that kind of left really, because they were good. They did their Alexis Sanchez. I don't begrudge him really because particularly because he had such a torrid time at Man United. But that's neither here nor there. It's usually the crap ones that played for us that that then leave and say, "Oh, I want to move to here." Get on my nerves. But anyway, carry on.
All right, this one I think is an absolute blasphemy, and this is where Manuel Neuer is. He's rated below Alisson, Ter Stegen.
That's too low for me.
I personally I rate him higher than Ter Stegen in all honesty. And especially by the entire Bayern team, just at the top, but just no.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But I am looking at something that is even more blasphemous because guess who he's rated the same as?
Oh no.
There you go. Fuck off. Fuck off. Seriously. Oh my god. That is no. Just no. Wash out your mouth with soap, EA. Absolute no. Just no. And then...
What you think he should be higher?
What? Oh, no. Yeah, why not? With a face only a mother could love, definitely. No, I'm joking.
Well, you know,
Getting all savage.
The thing is, you know, it's to do with the clubs they're at as well. I feel like if you're playing for Barcelona and Real Madrid, you kind of have to make them that rating, regardless of the. You know, I've seen. Are we getting on to Arsenal and Spurs players? In a minute?
Almost, yeah.
Almost, because basically, I would love to see how the entire Arsenal team and Spurs teams are rated on FIFA this season.
Yeah, so we've got.
We'll maybe go through that at some stage.
Yeah, I mean, we can skip Casemiro here because I don't really have much to say about Casemiro, to be honest. I don't. I'm not too sure.
I don't even know who he is, to be fair.
I'm not surprised Eden Hazard's been rated lower than 91. He was 91 in FIFA 20, but like he hasn't had the best season. So
I think that's far too high.
Yeah,
maybe no, I would say 80, 85 for at most. You know,
possibly
because he had that torrid season at Chelsea where he barely got any goals or assists, and they ended up like 14th.
Was that the one where he attacked the ball boy? By the way, well. Was that something
Might
else?
have been that season.
I don't know. Okay.
Attacked a little innocent Welsh ball boy.
Oh, yes.
At Swansea. What was that?
What?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Turned Scottish for a second.
Oh, it's because I saw the next one and I was like,
turned into groundskeeper Willie.
Oh, yes, we got a bit of Raheem Sterling here. Why not, eh? Oh, no, I'm turning into Salah.
Good God. That's like Spanish and Scottish, and I don't even know what that is.
I don't know, but I do rate Sterling. So I'm trying to do Pep now. It's not
let's move on from the accents, shall we?
Okay.
Yeah, Sterling. That's fair enough. I think he's earned his place.
Yeah.
Blistering form for Man City this season.
Again, I don't watch much Italian football, so I can't really say much about Handanovic. But I've heard he's like the probably the best goalkeeper in that area. So you know.
I'm slightly perturbed that Aubameyang, we haven't seen him in this list yet.
Well, I think... Okay, he's not next. Next is Toni Kroos. He used to be like 90 or 91 in FIFA 19, and now he's 88. He's slowed down quite a bit. So,
Scurvy says he needs that Scottish voice as an alarm.
Wake up, you bastard! This is a player...
Oh, my word.
Put yourself together, man.
Yeah.
So we got Koulibaly. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Is it Koulibaly or is that
Koulibaly? I think.
Right. Okay.
Koulibaly, maybe.
I know he's
Koulibaly.
I know he's sought after a lot by the Premier League, and I think I can't say much about the rating, I suppose. So I don't know. Do you have anything? It's just Italian football.
Is he a central defensive midfielder, right?
He's centre back. So
centre back, okay.
Yeah,
right.
like that. But it is what it is. Anyway, next we've got my boy, and he might be rated lower if we don't get a fucking striker, and that's Harry Kane.
Oh, you see, I genuinely no bias here, but Aubameyang has been better than Kane last season.
I don't really blame Kane for that though, because like Kane has been, even when he came back from injury against Liverpool, I don't think he was that ready to compete, but they felt like they needed Kane because they just don't have anybody else in his place. I mean, you know, you've got Son, but Son is not a natural striker. He's more of he works better on the wings. So, you know, you need someone who can play on that.
Plus, I think there should be another rating for talking ability.
You mean dribbling?
And yeah, dribbling, which is exactly what he does out the side of his mouth whenever he talks.
No, I can't, I'm not saying anything because he's my guy. And I probably refuse
sorry, Harry. I'm sure you're a lovely guy, but I'll be
refused entry into the hospital stadium after COVID's gone down. Oh God,
banter.
The
key banter, if you will.
Oh, so next is
Plug.
Edison. No surprise there. I think he has dropped in performance a tiny bit.
I think he should be docked a couple of points because of that hideous neck tattoo that he has.
You mean the Ollie Sykes tattoo?
Oh my word! It's hideous. It's so distracting whenever he's in goal, and I just see him with that monstrosity on the side of his head.
I know what you mean. Next we got the one Spurs let get away, and that is Paulo Dybala.
Okay.
He did really shine last season from what I've seen. So like,
is that Juventus that badge?
Yeah. So because Pro Evo have got the license to Juventus, so they have to change it to Piedmont.
Oh, really? So FIFA can't have Juventus's actual crest in the game.
Yep, that is true.
Wow,
is correct.
That's interesting.
So there's that, and then this is an interesting one. Joshua Kimmich bumping up the ranks. Another Bayern Munich player. I don't disagree because he's just been a good fielder for the team. So that's that's
good fielder.
What it
scores
is.
Lots of field goals.
Yeah. Okay. I can't remember. I think we got Kante. I don't know if that's higher or lower than last season. I think he might have been 89 last season. I'm not too sure. If someone could correct that for me. But
Kante is definitely not the player he was at Leicester.
Yeah, I haven't seen many highlights of him at Leicester, to be honest. I've just seen mainly what he did for France, and
he was absolutely outstanding for Leicester. But I feel like since moving to Chelsea, like a lot of times players move to Chelsea. Danny Drinkwater and
Drinkwater.
Barkley.
Don't mention Drinkwater to Irish guy.
Yeah, I was talking about this the other day to one of my mates. He got arrested for drink driving last year, Danny Drinkwater, and I don't think there was a single pun headline that I saw. I was devastated.
As long as he doesn't light a firework in the bath, he should be okay.
Yeah. Balotelli.
Yeah. This next one I think is also very well deserved, and he was so underrated in FIFA 19, and that is Trent Alexander-Arnold, arguably the best right back in the world.
Yes, to be fair, I would say he definitely deserves that.
I think he was 84 or 83 in FIFA 19. Sorry, it's FIFA 20. So, yeah, he's definitely bumped up the rankings for that. And I think he's very good at the assists. And I think he's got a few goals in last season, didn't he? I think so, but
Fair
I'm not too sure. We can skip Cellini because I don't really know much about Cellini. But then
Italian international. Cellini.
Yeah,
we were in for him a few years ago, but again, one of those players like Benzema, who's kind of I feel like might have been a bigger deal a few seasons ago.
Yeah. Then you probably saw the next one, which is Hugo Lloris.
For goodness sake, really?
I think Hugo Lloris should release Lloris.
Yeah, Hugo released.
No, don't release him. He's a good. If you've seen the documentary, you see how much of an influencer he is.
You know what? I was going to ask you about All or Nothing and whether you'd seen any episodes of it.
I've seen up until episode 6 at the moment, and there is a big contrast. There is a big contrast between what a kind of a captain Harry Kane is versus what kind of a captain Lloris is. If Lloris is the captain, you better play well, otherwise he is going to absolutely rain hell down on your ass. Because you know the Man City game where we won 2-0?
Yes.
I think partly if it wasn't for Lloris giving the dressing room an absolute beatdown, they wouldn't have come back that well. He's like, fucking hell, guys, we got to get back up and all that kind of stuff. And
another one of Kieran's amazing accents there.
Yes, we got to get back up, and
that's Borat. It's nice. I'm the goalkeeper for Tottenham Hotspur. It's nice.
I dislocated my elbow. Not nice. But I think since Lloris came back from injury, I think he has been quite outstanding. And, when he is there, Tottenham can keep more of a clean sheet because he commands the back line very well. And, did you see when he was arguing with Son after the Premier League
I did see that, actually. I thought it was hilarious.
I've seen there's a preview of the Amazon documentary, what happened in the actual dressing room of that, and he just went off on Son, and the reason was because Son didn't didn't run back to help defend like Kane and Lucas did. So he was angry at him for that. And then Mourinho came in and said, he didn't say like break it up, you're like kids or whatever. He just said use this to fuel yourselves in the second half. And Mourinho is very good at exploiting people, I find. And
absolutely. Well, that's his sort of thing. That's just how he is, Mourinho. I can't wait to get to the part in All or Nothing where it covers the Eric Dyer climbing the steps, in the stadium.
I think so far from what I've seen, it's covering right up to the end. When Son got injured, that's where it covers up to at the moment. But
Scurvy says you gentlemen seriously need to do the FIFA voice pack as commentators.
He did really come out of the woodwork that well, didn't he?
Yeah.
One team on their game today, the other very off colour.
After all those shots in the head, I think Soup's going to be on his diet for the foreseeable future. Oh, wait, no, that's WWE games.
He's got a family, damn it.
Literally, every WWE game has the exact same commentary, and I'm just done with it,
Yeah. Anyway, next, we've got... This is probably why...
Hit that one well, Fletch. Sorry, Karen.
This is probably... this is probably why Koeman wanted to kick Suarez out of the team, because he's had a sneak peek at his FIFA rating and he's think this is not good for business. So Suarez
again, probably rating down because of his propensity to bite people.
Well, that would come under physicality, I reckon, which is quite high.
Yeah.
So there's that. Also, another one that's fallen from grace a little bit is Luka Modric. I think. Yeah, it's fair enough. Like, he hasn't been as good since after the World Cup. I still think he's a terrific
player. He was Croatia's best player at the last World Cup.
By far. Like, in FIFA 19, he was 91, and then last game he was 90, and now he's dropped to 87. It's like, wow. And when a player drops to 87, they fucked up.
Man, it saddens me to see all these ex and current Spurs players up there. Not a single ex or current Arsenal player yet to be seen.
Yeah, well, next we got a PSG guy, Di Maria.
Now. From his Man United career, he probably should be lower than that.
I think in 19 he was like 84 or something like that. So, to me, he looks like there was an old game reviewer called The Game Dude, and he was like an AVGN ripoff. Di Maria just looks like him so much, or the Game Dude looks like him.
Was it the Irate Gamer?
No, not Irate Gamer. It's a different one.
There's another AVGN ripoff out there.
Oh yeah. Game Grumps took the piss out of him in one of their commentaries. It's hilarious.
Is that the only G thing?
G thing?
Game Grumps. Only G.
Only G?
The guy that does the cartoons.
Oh, you mean Ego Raptor and Danny Sexbang.
I have no idea what their names are, to be fair. I've never listened to that podcast.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Welsh Penny, thank you for listening. Appreciate it.
How's it going, Penny?
Hope you're enjoying talking us and nonsense about FIFA and
I got kind of an Arsenal player here. Here you go.
Wojciech. Yeah.
That guy.
I've got to say, I think he was definitely one of our best keepers over the last 2 years.
Yeah. He was a good man.
I actually was quite gutted when he left, because he loved Arsenal as well.
Yeah.
And he also loved taking the piss out of Tottenham, which endeared me to him more.
Well, I don't know. Have you seen Harry Kane's goal against Juventus last year, where he kicked it from the halfway line and it went right past Szczesny?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't. He named him from the halfway line.
Yep. It was.
Oh, wow.
It was like in the 90th minute as well. So it was just humiliation. Here we go. Jeez. But on to proper Arsenal now. We've got Aubameyang. I think he should be higher.
Too low. I'm sorry, that is too low.
I would say so as well. No doubt.
I would say he should at least be 89. I would say, or 90, because he's an unbelievable finisher. He's joint top scorer 2 seasons in a row. Arsenal's top scorer ever since he joined. Or the fastest Arsenal player to get 100 goals since Thierry Henry, I believe.
I think probably the only reason he's gotten that low of a score is probably because of Arsenal's placement last season.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it, with FIFA? They can't rate certain players too high, otherwise it will mess up the rating system for the whole team.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And it goes to show with like this one's Sergio Busquets. I I don't know, like in terms of Barcelona these days, it's very very odd to see highly rated players except Messi, or Ter Stegen. So I don't know if I agree with that one. But either,
Yeah, I agree, Michael. If you're talking about Aubameyang, yeah, he definitely deserves a 90.
yeah, got Ciro Immobile, yeah, solid striker, I think, so not too bad. Keylor Navas, I think he's always been quite an underrated goalkeeper in my opinion. He was very underrated when he was at Real Madrid. You know, he kept being second choice to Courtois, and you know how Courtois ended up. So I think, yeah, I think Navas could do with a rating higher. Antoine Griezmann next. Yeah, I think he hasn't really shown a lot of flair at Barcelona. So yeah,
I kind of forgot he even played for Barcelona, to be honest.
that's the thing, isn't it? Like, you know, you knew him when he was at Atletico, but
yeah, I always associate him with Atletico.
yeah.
Did he ever play for PSG? I can't remember.
PSG. No, I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe.
He probably started at PSG. Hang on. Carry on.
You've got my boy Sonny. I think he should be 88.
Yeah.
Personally.
To be fair, he's a quality player, Son. I think. If anything, he probably deserves higher as well.
I personally think at the moment he is the best player we've got. You know, I think easily like 88 or stretching it a bit with 89, one of those. But like, he's been very versatile. When Harry Kane was injured, he comes in and does his work. You know, as long as he runs back, I think Lloris has scared him, so that's not too bad. But
yeah, apparently Antoine Griezmann never played for PSG. That was entire fabrication on my part. I'm sorry. He is French, though.
Welcome to the Keyard podcast. We deliver 100% true news.
Inaccuracy, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next
so
is...
hang on. Welsh Penny says, I think this is referring to Son. He says, after being in the army, he should be higher.
Yeah, what's his physicality? His physicality 69. That's just two jokes in one, isn't it?
I mean, well, obviously his shooting ability as well, considering he's in the army.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. But
Very
that
good.
physicality, my God, yeah. He can pass some, I don't know, a mini nuke off to someone, or I'm stretching the joke now. But
wow, that's you really went for it then.
Interception.
Yeah,
from the north. Let's.
Oh no. Let's move on.
Roberto Firmino, anyone? Like, I think that's the same as last year, I believe. Like, FIFA 19, he was 86, and now he's 87 for the past 2 years. Fair enough. I mean, he's like, shooting is fairly on point because he doesn't really get as many goals in as Salah and Mane. But like dribbling and being able to pass off to them, I think he does a great job with. So, you know, I think that's pretty solid there. Next is Fabinho. I think Fabinho has been quite exceptional last season. That goal against Man City was an absolute belter.
Yeah.
So, you know, I couldn't really argue with that one that much. Then we've got, oh yes, exciting one, Bruno Fernandes. The saving grace for...
He's been Man U's only kind of consistently good player, really.
He's that dot that they've needed to connect to like both the defenders and the forwards. So you know, and I think he was 85 in the last game, 85 or 86. So you know, I think he seems like a bit of a leader. Laporte, I think he's the same as last year. He was injured for a lot of it, so you know it would have been quite unfair to downrate him because like there's no evidence of him showing a decline in performance. So you know that's pretty solid. This is another good one as well, and I'm gonna get out my Scottish accent again for wee Robertson.
Aye, Andy Robertson.
Andy Robertson. Yeah,
I think him and Tierney have the potential to be on the same level. I know they're both kind of Scottish left backs, but man, that left hand side for Scotland.
Arsenal, I find they've got quite pacey.
You can make a decent
defenders,
case
haven't
of putting like one of them at left midfield or left wing, and then one at left back
Yeah,
in the Scottish team.
you've got quite pacey wing backs, haven't you? For
Man,
Arsenal?
our left hand side looks deadly.
Yeah, because like
Saka,
Bellerin normally plays right back,
Maitland-Niles.
doesn't he? But he played right.
Bellerin's a right back, yeah, but
he played midfield today, didn't he? That's what I saw on the lineup. I don't know.
Well, I'm happy we seem to be keeping Maitland-Niles. You know, he's just looked such a prospect.
I mean, I feel bad for Wolves in a way, but because they sold us a player for cheap, and now they're struggling to get a right back. They really just, I don't know what they were thinking. But
I feel bad for Hull selling Robertson and Maguire, and now they're both. You know, Maguire's like
on mega money.
The most mega money, yeah.
Next we got Bernardo Silva, again, solid player.
As he tells the Greek police force, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. Bernardo Silva, yeah, docked points, I think, for the racism.
When did that happen? I don't think I.
He called his teammate.
Just say the first letter of the word.
I tell you what. I hope it's Bernardo Silva and not someone else in Man City. But I'm pretty sure it's Bernardo Silva got in hot water for aiming a kind of funny tweet at one of Man City's black players.
I think
people construed it as racist. You know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But we won't get into that. Just
I'll stay out of that one.
yeah, we're not touching it. We're keeping it light-hearted here at the Keyard podcast.
And this next one is exactly why Man U want him, and that's Jadon Sancho at 87. I think he was 84 last time, so big upgrade. Quality
Do you think
player.
he'll go to Man City or Man United this season?
I don't think he'll go to Man City. I don't think Man City are in desperate need for him. I think if Man U can stock up the funds, then I think they'll go for Sancho, because I know it's been said that Bale can either go to Tottenham or Man U, but I think Man U would rather go for Sancho than Bale because he's younger and he's just got more to give at the moment, because Bale really does need to get his fitness up.
Are we going through every single player in FIFA, by the way? Because we're going to be here all day otherwise.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Let's just skim through some. So we got Gomez, 86, meh. Gerard Piqué, downgrade. David Silva.
Well, so he should be after the 8-2.
David Silva, 86, debatable.
I think he should be higher than that, personally.
Sommer, I don't have much to say about Sommer. Hummels, Jordan Henderson, that's a bit of an upgrade. He was 83, now he's 86. Very good.
Player of the year, wasn't he, Jordan Henderson?
I think he was, yeah.
Yeah.
Jordi Alba, that is hilarious because he was 89 in FIFA 19 and 88, and now he's dropped down to 86. I think he declined last season. Thomas Muller, quite underrated, I think, but fair is fair, I suppose. David De Gea, I'm pretty sure he was 89 last time, and now he's 86. What does that tell you?
Tells you he's going down in quality, which is definitely apparent.
He was like 80. Yeah, he was one of the best. He was, if not the best goalkeeper in the world at one point.
At one point, yeah, not anymore.
Paul Pogba, he's gone down 2 points, 86. Mourinho's best friend.
Well, I'm surprised that he's even given a rating, given how little he's been playing.
Yeah,
like giving Bale a rating based on like what actually has he done, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think Verratti. Don't really know much about Verratti or PSG. Rafael Varane. I think that's the same as you got last season.
Yeah. Michael's brought up a good point in the chat, saying will be interesting to see how highly they rate Dean Henderson in the game compared to De Gea.
Well,
Dean Henderson was obviously the keeper at Sheffield United last season. Very consistent, pretty much got Sheffield United to where they ended up in the table. And now he's back at Man United and they've rewarded him with like a new contract.
Yeah.
So who knows whether Dean Henderson will be like first choice for Man United next season ahead of David De Gea.
So we've got Carvajal, I think that is a bit of an upgrade. No, it might be the same as last year, actually. So considered apparently the second best right back in the world. Okay. Jamie Vardy's got an upgrade. He was 82, and now he's 86.
I mean, he's consistent. He consistently scores goals, even though Leicester are kind of diminishing in quality around him.
That's the thing. Like, is he good because of the rest of his team, or is he like a standalone skilled player? It's a bit of a debate, but you know, he didn't he win? Didn't he score the most goals last season?
I think it was.
Or was it Danny Ings?
No. Danny Ings only really came good at the end of the season, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to look that up. Who was top scorer last season? I'm pretty sure Aubameyang was up there.
Okay.
I think it might have been Vardy.
Next, we got Chelsea's new boy, Thiago Silva. He was rated higher before, but now he's just 85. Fair enough.
Hang on, Thiago Silva.
The PSG guy. Oh, Rob. I think Rob's gone. Ah, no, Rob's gone. Where's he gone? Uh-oh. Let's wait for him. What happened there?
Damn, sorry. I was so shocked by the fact that was Thiago Silva. I accidentally got rid of the.
You rage quit, did you?
I rage quit at the start of Thiago Silva. Yeah, he's getting on a bit, Thiago Silva, isn't he?
Yeah, he's fairly
late.
In his 30s.
Yeah, it was Jamie Vardy who got the golden boot last season.
Fair dues.
As I expected. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Dries Mertens, he's
you know what? That's the first time he's got the golden boot in the Premier League, apparently.
What? Thiago Silva?
No, Jamie Vardy. That's his first Premier League golden boot for Leicester.
Have you just seen that breaking news that came up?
That surprises me.
What, the breaking news or the football news?
Wait, what football news?
Breaking news: UK coronavirus cases soar by 3,497 and highest Saturday rise since early May.
Well, I mean, that's because everyone was out last night getting absolutely hammered before the sixth rule introduced. You know, we won't go into that.
I just showed up on my screen. So yeah, we got Dries Mertens. He's downgraded a bit. I think he's like 33 now, so I can understand that. But he's still like Tottenham are trying to sign Milik, or they got their eye on Milik, and he's like their third choice. So it's a bit of a weird one. Yeah. Sorry, somebody knows you in the chat, Rob.
Yes, I believe that's my friend Laura.
Okay.
Hopefully I'm right. But good afternoon. I hope you enjoy this absolute nonsense that we're spouting. We're going through the FIFA ratings for next season.
Just up your street, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, we've got Pjanic. I think, yeah, he's a quality player for Juventus.
Oh wait, no, sorry, it's it's Jam, who's a mate of mine who also has a Twitch channel.
All right.
I would plug it, but I've completely forgotten the name of it because I'm useless. I'm so sorry. Scrub Force, that's it. So go and check out Scrub Force.
Oh.
It's Jam's gaming channel.
Okay. Right, so we've got, Pjanic, and then Wijnaldum. I think that's a slight point higher than last season, but Wijnaldum, I always find him quite underrated. He's just an amazing, he's just one of those players that can just burst out of nowhere and just.
Oh, apparently Pjanic is at Barca now.
He's at Barca. So it's a bit outdated.
A bit outdated, the rating system.
That's the thing, see, FIFA are usually quite late to update people's teams. It took them ages to update Steven Bergwijn when he moved to Spurs. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. Then we got Diego Godin. I don't really.
Sorry, by the way, Jam. I am very hungover today, so that's why I'm making so many mistakes.
Excuses.
Yeah.
Oh, Toby Alderweireld, how far you've fallen a bit, but I don't know. I think it's a bit harsh. I know Spurs didn't have the best clean sheet last season, but
man, I tell you what, Spurs they've got so many players up there.
Yeah, Alderweireld, I don't think he did have a bit of a. I think what happened was he had a bit of an underperformance because he didn't really know whether he was leaving or going, and then as soon as he signed that contract, he was back on it again. But I think 2 points lower is a bit harsh in my opinion. But that's just me. Bonucci, I don't know. Gulassi, is that Leipzig? Yeah. I mean, they were good last season, so I can't really fault them for that. I haven't seen Timo Werner come up though. Have you?
No, not yet.
Marco Reus.
Yeah,
he was 88 last time, so he is coming on a bit though.
Yeah, Hummels and Royce. I mean, I'm quite surprised Dortmund has still kept hold of those two.
Yeah. To answer your question, Jam. Yeah, this is the FIFA 21 ratings that we're looking at. The top 100, but we're nearly there. So we've been on it for the last half hour.
Because I do want to move on to other topics. Don't worry, stick around. We are going to cover more topics. It's just we're engrossed in this.
Yeah, but it seems like people in the chat are. Don't spoil it, Penny. But I think people are interested in it, so I think it's worth carrying on. But next we got Carl Walker. I think was he 86 last time or 84. But like he's always been great for Man City, and he was brilliant for Spurs. I mean, selling Carl Walker was
docked points for both being a dick to ball boys and having a hair transplant.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. I rate him though. Thiago.
Well, no, you do. He's ex-Spurs. Of course you rate him.
I'll rate him. Well, the only person I won't rate is Danny Rose, but that's another story.
Thiago, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Pareo. Pareo's like I've seen on Football Daily and stuff that they've said he's like had one of the weirdest transfers so far. So I guess it is a bit of a weird one. I think. Ericsson. Oh, he was 88, I believe, last time, and now he's dropped to 85. Damn. Do you know what
I still don't think you should have sold him, mate. Personally.
Well, it was either sell him or let him leave on a free, so we didn't really have a choice. I don't think he wasn't going to sign a new contract. He wanted a new challenge, so it was. I think it was better to just get the money and let him go. But Inter have reportedly, apparently, they don't rate him that much because they've only let him play in 7 games since he's been there. So.
I mean, it's all a bit messy at Inter at the moment.
I know what you mean.
I mean, they're starting to get really good. Like Lukaku.
Lukaku's brilliant at the moment. Yeah,
he's on fire for them
by all means. Yeah. Then we've got Alexandro. Good. Yeah.
Don't really know much about him. To be fair, so let's move on.
Lukaku.
There we go. Speaking of though,
that's harsh because like he had a great season last season. So I think that is very, very. Yeah. I don't agree with that.
Jam,
88.
We are. This is
87.
FIFA. What we're discussing.
Yeah. Leno, again, I think that is very harsh. I know.
We might be alienating some listeners by the looks of things. But unfortunately, with the Key Yard podcast, you've signed up for a bit of football chat every week. I promise we'll wrap this up soon and get on to more pressing matters like music.
Yeah. Leno, though, I think he should be at least 87 or 88, in my opinion.
He's a good keeper. I think Martinez... I want Martinez as our number one.
Yeah.
But like I said, he's apparently going to Villa. He's had a medical today. He's going to have a medical this afternoon, apparently, and I'm very sad about it.
Yeah.
Right, should we wrap it? Should we wrap it up there, or should we keep going?
Yeah. Coke, Insigne, Luis Alberto, Icardi, Dick, Depay should be 86, I think. Mahrez,
not from his performance at Man United, no.
Mahrez, yes, fair. Gnabry should be higher.
Gnabry. Talk about ones that got away. Jesus.
Yeah.
We sent him on loan to West Brom, for God's sake.
Coke going for a medal.
And now he's one of the best wingers in the world.
Yeah.
Arguably, best attacking midfielders in the world.
Very, I don't know how you can rate anyone from Bayern Munich less than 87, but that's just me.
Yeah, yes, Jam. A guy called Coke is going for a medical. No, sorry, we're not talking about Coke here. We're talking about Emiliano Martinez from Arsenal, who's our best keeper. He's
Yeah.
going for a medical, and I'm very sad about it because it's probably means he's going to be leaving.
Yeah.
Got to Aston Villa of all places, can't they get Rayner back or something?
So Marquinhos, can you see where it says 87 out of 100? So we are quite near the end of the list. Ziyech, ooh, so Chelsea fans may disagree on that, but okay. Ricardo Pereira, yeah, that's pretty fair. I mean, he is a highly rated right back, so you take that as you will.
There we go. There's Werner.
Werner, I think maybe he'll be rated higher at the end of the season. Let's see how things go. Langley, well, it's just Barcelona's entire defense at the moment. So like he was rated higher and now he's just less. So
yeah, it's all good, Jam. I don't expect everyone who comes in here to know that much about football. To be fair, it's just something that we talk about. I mean, I don't know anything about football. Really, is what I learned.
Yeah, and it's not like every podcast is about football.
I could tell you who plays for Bolton Wanderers in about 2008, but I couldn't tell you who plays for PSG now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Leroy Sané, I think that's a lower rating. He did have a lot of injuries, to be fair. Savic, such a savage rating. No, I don't know.
Very good.
Frankie de Jong, yeah, I think. Donnarumma. I
always love that name, Donnarumma. Sounds like Donnarunner.
Have you ever seen the face
As in
mush?
Donnarumma out of his box.
Have you ever seen a face mush filter on TikTok or anything like that, where it warps your face? That's just what Donnarumma's face looks like.
Oh, poor guy. Leave him alone.
I take no prisoners.
I mean, I can't talk. I slagged off Harry Kane and Kyle Walker.
Bitch.
Only because they play for Spurs.
Yeah, well,
right.
That should not get in the way of your human decency, Rob.
Right, okay.
Rashford, he's gone from 83 to 85. So, I still think he should have been like 84.
For humanitarian efforts, he should get 100 out of 100.
Oh, yeah, by all means. Well, he's less of a dribbler, so, he's not dribbling among his words. Rodri, I would probably say he should be rated higher because he had one of the most consistent performances of the Premier League last season. I didn't know Spurs deserves manners, but hey ho.
I'll just my guy, Jam, my guy.
I'll let you off that one. Skriniar, well, Spurs are trying to get him. I think. I don't know what the status is with him. I think they want Ndombele, but we want to keep him. So that was kind of a swap deal.
I did not want to point out, Scurvy says, that most players either look constipated or not happy to be there at all. That's a fair point.
Well, they're in an EA game, so I can understand.
I mean, I feel like they just get them. It's probably like when musicians do press, they just put them in a massive room and they go, oh, do I have to? Sort of thing.
Yeah.
Next steps their interview. They have to just stand in front of a green screen and try and look happy to be there.
Yeah. It's only when they do skywalks and things like that, they're expected to put on more of a happy face. Or name that footballer, those interviews that they get. Next, we've got Matthias de Ligt, and we've got... This is like the last three now. So, de Ligt, he didn't have the best season. So, yeah, I don't know. Kai Havertz. No, I think that's probably the biggest upgrade, Kai Havertz. I think he was in the 70 range in the last game. I'm not too sure, but been rated really highly, and that is one hell of a boost. So, good on him for that.
We are recording this podcast, dear viewer, as football fixtures are going on. So I'm just checking what. So apparently Palace are 1-0 up at Southampton.
Who's their striker at the moment?
Wilfried Zaha.
Oh, he didn't have the best season last time, did he? He only scored 4 goals.
Yeah, well, who knows? Might be different this season.
Oh, anyway, he was 84, was he? Okay, my bad. I must have been thinking of someone else.
And Cardiff are 2-0 down to Sheffield Wednesday. So, there you go. And
last but not least, Haaland. And
Haaland.
If you asked Haaland how he felt about that, you say, yeah. And that would be it. That would be the interview over. Have you ever seen his interviews?
I love that. I love that interview.
It's like, how do you feel about that performance? Very good.
I mean, he's like the Robert Smith of footballers. Just doesn't like interviews.
He is the anti, the anti Zlatan, if you will. or someone else. I don't know. He's just man of a few words, but Zlatan is like the biggest troll of
Troll
football
ever. Right, should we wrap up the football there then?
Yep, that is football. Didn't take us that long, so lovely.
Hey, it only took us about an hour and a half to go through that.
Well, I mean, the next few aren't too bad either. So the next thing we got up, and this is... So I don't know if you've heard the song, have you, Rob, about a certain genital area that is wet and is described to be an ass?
Yeah. Again, another shout out to our sponsor today, PowerGen Itals.
Oh, yes.
Where the sun can literally shine out of your ass.
So if it can shine out of your ass, you're going to need a mop, you're going to need to clean it up, and you're going to need a cobra or an anaconda, whatever you can muster for your enhanced experience. But like there's been a lot of
those are DLC.
Yeah,
they're optional.
So there's been a lot of talk about the song, and it's mainly because like I think one of the things is YouTube taking copyright and stuff like that, and false takedowns, and then they let something like this music video up, and people aren't very happy about that.
Yes.
Because it's it stems from Anaconda as well by Nicki Minaj. I don't usually talk about these guys, but I just usually joke about them on Twitter. Yeah. And I think it's more of a precedence to have a wet ass KB than it is to have a wet ass pussy. So
can we just get to the bloody song?
Wow.
Refrain from too much genital talk.
So okay. So there was a certain popular band that made a cover to this, and instead of WAP, it's WAB, and it's Rammstein pussy, yeah, like that. And it's by a certain Biffy Clyro, and it's called Wet Ass Biffy, and
a certain download headlining Biffy Clyro.
Yes, so they did it in the Radio 1 Live Lounge. And it was pretty much just molding the lyrics, and there was definitely mixed opinions about it. And I just wanted to cover on this certain article from the Tab, which says there's a special place reserved in hell for this Biffy Clyro cover of WAP.
We'll let you listeners and watchers of this podcast out there seek it out for yourselves, but it's quite something.
Yeah, so Biffy went into the BBC One Radio 1 Live Lounge, and for some they're very opinionated, the Tab, but I digress. For some absolutely unfathomable reason, choose to do a cover of WAP. It's categorically the worst thing that has ever been posted on the internet. It's like irony just goes out the window with these people, but I don't know.
Well, I kind of admire them, really, to a certain extent, Biffy, for doing this, because metal elitists are already had their bee in a bonnet about them headlining Download next year.
Yeah.
So this is going to really annoy them even further, and I'm all for it, because elitism in music is one of my pet peeves,
Yeah, well, it's just like, I don't think they really did much harm with it. It's you go into there, you just play a few tunes, have lyrics in front of you, and that's it. You've got your paycheck, you're out of there, back to your actual studio album, job done. It's not like their next album's going to be just full of Cardi B covers or anything like that, so I don't think it's a big deal. Like, I can understand whether you like it or dislike it, but to go very hyperbolic into it and say that they deserve to go to hell for it.
Yeah, well, like not like the internet to be reactionary and overblown.
I don't know. Maybe they're trying to stir the pot. Who knows? And that usually is a thing that happens. But it's just like you know what Twitter's like with this kind of stuff. They do stir things out of proportion a little bit. I don't know.
Really, Twitter? No, surely not.
This is why I don't reply to people. I just quote people, so if I join their world, I'm in their world, and if I quote the tweets, then I'm in my own world, and people will have to join my world and feel my wrath if I had a bad bone in my body. I don't know why I clicked on to watch Biffy Clyro covering WAP and expected anything less from terrible, but I'm shocked at just how much I hated it. Why must men be the way they are? Okay, I'm not really gonna go on to the whole feminism not. Or whatever. That's not what this podcast is for.
No. Let's move on.
I don't mind stuff like this.
That's just Twitter for you. They have to make everything into a sort of agenda, and it just annoys me.
I mean, I thought it was just making fun of the actual song itself. That's it, and it's just turning one word into another because it rhymes.
You know what? Like I said, people can't detect sarcasm on the internet. So
it's I don't know. It's like they choose to be offended more than anything. It's and it's wrong. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
No, don't do it.
Well, we've had a ridiculous array of accents today.
Oh, you don't want to know what video that is.
You're going to have plenty of ammunition for your alarm clock, Scurvy. I can guarantee you that.
Oh yes, but that was like, wow. To be honest, it's good that we covered the FIFA thing because in anything, this is probably the shorter segment of it all. We've been
well. We I guess we could. Are we good? Are we planning to cover Download 2021?
Maybe next time. But you had another thing in mind, didn't you? And that was
yes,
your metal anagrams.
Yes, right. So this is inspired by a podcast I listened to, an Arsenal-based podcast called The Tuesday Club. Long-time fan, hosted by Alan Davis, aka the pretty much stalwart of QI, in my opinion. He was also Jonathan Creek and various films
Alan Davis,
and TV shows.
Did you say?
Alan Davis, yes. Yeah. He's a big Arsenal fan, right? And one week, he reads out emails on his podcast, and one week a guy sent in some emails of Arsenal player anagrams. And it gave me the inspiration to do this segment, where I pretty much... Trivium, right? Obviously, kind of the band of lockdown at the moment, metal band of lockdown. They did a deep cut set on Twitch, and they have their finger on the pulse, I would say. They've been doing a lot of good. So I decided to make every member of Trivium into an anagram. And I just want to get your thoughts on some of these, KB.
Okay.
So first off, we have lead singer Matt Hafey.
Okay.
I almost said Heafy again then. Hafey.
So am I guessing these, or are you just telling me what they are?
I would just tell them what you are, and then you can... Because, I had to go to great lengths to actually make these anagrams.
Okay.
But you can have meaty haft.
Oh.
A feta myth. So I guess
amphetamine?
No, a feta myth. So I guess, like...
Man, I thought you were clean, man.
If you're not a fan of a specific type of cheese, or you wish it never existed, you can make it a feta myth.
It myths you off, does it?
Yeah. MYTH.
Okay.
Or you can have, hey, Fat Matt.
Hey, fatty.
So, yeah. I don't know. Was he ever fat at any point, Matt Hafey?
This is Matt Heafy you're talking about. Hafey.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's Matt Hafey I'm talking about, rather than Heafy.
He's got like -5 body fat or something like that.
Well, he does jiu-jitsu and stuff. Yeah. He does Brazilian jiu-jitsu classes on his Twitch.
And apparently. He showed off his bum in the process of showing off his back tattoo. So there's that on his Instagram.
It's an enormous back tattoo, isn't it? It's ridiculous.
I thought you were going to say it's an enormous bum, isn't it? Like,
it's enormous.
It's like this big, like, so turkey.
Okay, either that or you can have Matthew Kichi Hafey, which is cheeky hit with mafia.
Oh. Don't behave! Don't shoot me, you little rapscallion!
Cheeky hit with mafia. I just had a little cheeky hit put out for that guy the other day. No big deal. You can have a whack yeti thief him.
A whack yeti thief him.
So. If someone was...
This yeti ain't good enough. Get me another one.
Well, if someone was stealing the abominable snowman and, like, tipped it off the side of a cliff or something, he'll be a whack yeti thief, him.
Screw you, I wanted Bigfoot.
Yeah. And finally, to round off Matt Hafey, a fat white hickey, him.
Right.
So I guess, I don't know, if you live in a trailer park, you can be a fat white hickey.
That just sounds like a religious love bite.
Indeed.
Can't blame it.
Don't worry, this segment isn't going to be very long. I'm already driving away our remaining listeners. We're down to 2 at the moment.
I don't even
Paolo
look at that
Gregoletto,
stuff.
bass player of Trivium, extraordinaire,
Yeah.
good backing vocals as well. You can have Reggae Loop Lotto for him.
Reggae Loop Lotto.
So I guess if you're doing the...
so you can win the lottery more than once.
If you're doing the lottery, and then you have I Shot the Sheriff in the background.
Did you shoot the deputy, though?
On repeats, it will be a Reggae Loop Lotto. Eagle Trot, ? Poo Log. So I guess if an eagle has the runs...
That's like a redundant statement, a poo log.
Absolutely. And then finally, G-Troll, Goat Poo.
G-Troll, Goat Poo.
Yeah, very poo-orientated, his anagrams were.
Just someone going to go up to Paolo and say, "You're shit! You're poo!"
G-Troll, Goat Poo. Corey Bailey. I never know how to pronounce his surname.
I think it's Corey Bailey. I think it is.
Bailey. Corey Bailey, guitar player, lead guitar player.
Corey Paolo.
You can have Bureau Coil Eye.
Is he working for the FBI, is he? And the private eye at the same time?
Yeah. Yes. Or alternatively, and it's one for you, Kieran, UQ Bale Eye.
UQ Bale Eye?
So I guess...
Jeremiah.
I guess if you talk about Gareth Bale and someone gets really angry about it, then UQ Bale Eye.
Wow.
I know. Extraordinary. Alex, and finally the drummer, Alex Bent. This was an easy one.
Bent Alex.
Bent Alex. No, another one for you, actually, and quite an ominous one for you. Bale Next.
Bale Next. Man U or Spurs.
Yeah, exactly. Or alternatively, Axel Bent.
Axel Bent? That's like if Guns N' Roses
Although
actually
the word
did
bent
become...
is in it. Although the word bent is in it again, so I guess I'm cheating there.
Yeah, that's if...
But there you go. That was my terrible segment for the day that I've just introduced.
That's like
Don't know if we'll bring it back, but give me a band. Suggest a band in the chat, and I will find out anagrams for them.
Okay. Or we can play a game where we guess anagrams. Actually, I'm going to do that with you next week. So that's going to be my little challenge for you.
That next week.
So, yeah. Take care of that one. I'll take care of that one. Okay, so next on the agenda is your little listen to this thing. So, what have you got lined up? Sorry, I'm just texting Katie saying I love her too. It's very professional.
Listen to this. Right, well, my listen to this thing is a band called The Hell. Have you heard of The Hell?
I've heard of... Are you being an old woman again? Saying, have you been to the hell? You deserve to be in the hell.
No. It's I don't know what that is meant to imply, but there we go. I'm really slacking. I think the hangover's catching up with me. I'm sorry.
You've been fine. Don't worry about it.
But basically, they're a band that I've only discovered this year thanks to Mosh Talks. The incomparable Bees of Mosh Talks and his fascinating taste in music. This band are on Black Mist Records. And I'm reading an article here from the Mind Noise Network about their single Doosh. Well, actually, their EP Doosh, which is not D-O-U-C-H-E, but rather D-O-O-S-H in an onomatopoeic sort of way.
Oh.
And here's what it says, right? A criticism often cited against artists from all genres is that they take themselves too seriously. With attention focused on hardcore, it would be fair to say this accusation is somewhat just. Cough, cough, code orange, cough. That's in brackets. I didn't add that. While it is not intrinsically bad for an act to inhibit a dour and somber persona, bands who are willing to poke fun at themselves are a ray of light in an often dark scene. That's very true. You don't get many tongue-in-cheek hardcore artists nowadays, which is part of the reason why I really, really admire this band and think this song is absolutely hilarious. Those not familiar with The Hell won't take much time realizing the band members, of which there are many, keep their tongues placed firmly within their respective cheeks, like I've just said. With a number of musicians present ranging anywhere from 6 to 12, all sporting bandanas across their faces to retain anonymity.
Hmm.
So no one knows who are actually in this band.
So it's like the gangster version of Slipknot.
In a sense, yeah. But it also says they're taking aim at tough guy hardcore acts by espousing overly aggressive and boastful lyrics. So you got to bear in mind when you listen to this next tune, KB, is that they're not 100% serious.
Okay.
But
I'll
I
keep
just
that in mind.
I just would love to hear your reaction to this tune, right?
Right. Okay.
And they've been around forever. After a 5-year hiatus, they've returned with a 4-track EP entitled Doosh, most likely serving as an appetizer to the main course that will be a new full-length album. I believe it was just an EP that came out. This track came out in January of this year.
Mm-hmm.
But now they've actually released, I believe they've released an opera album.
An
A
opera
tongue-in-cheek
album.
but a tongue-in-cheek kind of rock opera album.
Okay.
Which I haven't listened to yet,
Rockra.
but I can't wait to listen to it. We might do it on New Music Saturday tonight. On Mosh Talks. Yeah, so this the left field of the band, the left field influence of the band are more present than ever on this track. Despite there being no debate, this is a hardcore / metal song. The vocal delivery has more in common with a grime / hip hop artist. And I'm going to leave that there for now.
Okay. Well,
And,
I mean, I can see
I'll
it's
let-
only like 1 minute 54 seconds, so this shouldn't take too long.
Yes, very, very, very short. But yeah, this is a band called The Hell, and this is their track Doosh, which I've given to Kieran to listen to. Have you got the lyric video open, just out of interest? As opposed to
It's
Spotify?
the main one on, it's the main one on their YouTube.
Right. Well, just wrap your heads around the lyrics to this, because it is truly hilarious. Take
Okay.
it away.
Okay, so this is Doosh, spelled Doosh. Very clever. Go!
Now, I like the regional nature of this track more than anything else as well. There's you see, you're laughing already. It's fantastic, isn't it? It's very sort of English.
What's that? What's that Chase and Status song? Control. Kind of reminds me of that.
Oh right, no, I haven't listened to that one. To be fair,
It's a collab they did with someone else. I need everybody in this fucking place to dosh. My crepes. What, as in like the food?
yeah. Oh man, but yeah, this band, I'd never heard of them, but apparently they were going for years before this.
Right,
And,
okay. Move over, Eskimo Callboy. This is the new one.
This is the new one, is it? The new meme to be had.
Yeah.
I hope
Doosh.
so. I hope we can get this song off the ground, because it really is quite phenomenal.
Being angry on Twitter, then douche.
Indeed.
I can't keep up with it. What's going on?
It's very. I just love it. You never hear the word mush in a song, do you?
No. Mush.
Boots your face and your mush goes douche. I mean, mush is very much a Cockney sort of saying.
I love the just the animosity behind it is the proper word.
Yeah, but again, it's that tongue-in-cheek, overly aggressive animosity that sets it apart from your regular hardcore, like Straight from the Path or something like that. No, I've got nothing against Straight from the Path at all, but this band are definitely different to that.
Well, that's been into my brain. Most
Right, was that the
definitely.
song?
That was the song.
Is what are your feelings on it?
Is what it is.
It exists.
It exists. Yeah. I don't think I can say anything more than that. So yeah.
I just figured after over the last 3 episodes I was playing quite softer stuff,
Yeah, it's like
shoegazy alternative stuff. I just figured I'd hit you left field with a sort of slamming piece.
most of the ones I'm giving you are the ones where I said, please listen to this, and you're like, I will in a bit, and then you never do.
I never do. I'm terrible with that, mate. I'm sorry.
That's
But anyway,
alright.
so what have you given me?
So the one I've given you for this one is Bury Tomorrow. I guess they're my boys. I mean, they're from England. They've been rising up quite a bit in the metalcore world these days, and the latest album, Cannibal, that came out in July after being postponed from April, has been quite a massive hit. It's been regarded as like one of the potential album of the year, and it features five guys. One of them, not the fast food restaurants. Danny Winter Bates, who is the vocalist, mostly, just does full on screaming. Then you've got Jason Cameron, who is the guitarist, as well as the backup and clean vocalist. Then you've got David Winter Bates, who is the bassist, who is a funny Twitch streamer, like quite hilarious. He's one of those banter kind of guys. Christian Dawson.
I believe we've had a raid from him in the past on Mosh Talks.
Oh really? He's just brilliant. I love him so much.
To get him on the stream at some point.
Then you've got Christian Dawson, who is their lead guitarist, who does a lot of their creative solos and riffs. Adam Jackson, who's the drummer. So yeah, when it comes to this album, it's definitely one of the streamline metalcore sort of albums each year. It's like a bit of a blast from the past in terms of the Killswitch Engage days. The last album, which was Black Flame, was also great, but I felt like the quality of it was a bit muddy, and I think they polished it a lot on this album, and it just definitely sounds a lot more wider, more spacious, more atmospheric. And in terms of this song that we've got here, they've definitely got a bit of variety on this track, but this is the one that will hit you the hardest by all means. Like this is the last song on the album, so for them to finish off with this song on the album speaks volumes, and it's definitely probably one of the heaviest, if not the heaviest songs they've done. So with all that said and done, this is Buried Tomorrow, Dark Infinite. Take it away, Rob.
All right, I will do. Yes. Oh wow. No messing about again, just straight with that high visceral scream to open.
I do like Dan screams have really grown on me in the way he does it, and I love how he can go from really high to really low as well, because he's got a large range on him. But the drums even sound better on this album as well. Like I love the snare on quality on this.
There's almost a Howard Jones quality to those high screams, dare I say.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, very driving metalcore here.
Yeah, like it's very much a step up in terms of rhythm and just ferociousness compared to the singles they released for this album, because they started with The Grey, which is like the middle of the curve, and then Cannibal, which is a lot more down to earth and melodic, and then Better Below, which is more of the radio track, and then Gods and Machines, which is probably my favorite song on the album, which is why I covered it. Bit of a plug there.
I really like that chorus, I've got to say.
Yeah, it's just Jason's
melodic chorus.
Yeah, I do like how like Jason's vocals shine out more on this album compared to the last. I think they were kind of obscured a bit due to the quality. Like I love Black Flame as an album. Don't get me wrong. Like it was in my top 10 metal albums of 2018. So it's I think that was just the one lacking thing. But the songs itself was really creative.
Yeah, I see what you mean about his screaming. I don't know if I was a fan of his screaming, like really, prior to this. I don't know. There's something about it.
It's definitely come a long way. Like
yeah,
you know, it did sound like the first two albums, I believe, where he had a different kind of scream, and then was it Portraits?
Oh, we played one of their music videos recently on Mosh Talks, and the one of their very first ones, and it's amazing how much how far they've come and how far they've matured.
Oh, by all means, yeah. Like I remember how ecstatic people were when I think on Parkway Drive's tour, Killswitch couldn't play, and they got replaced with Buried Tomorrow on one of the nights.
Oh, that is a great substitution. That makes a lot of sense as well. There's definite Parkway vibes in this. In fact, he actually does sound like Winston in this passage here.
Yeah, it's just like they're a very wholesome band as well. Like
just a bit just before the breakdown, that was very, very Parkway sounding.
Like the bassist, David, he liked my TikTok video of the cover I did, and then because I saw it was him, I followed him, and then he followed me straight back.
Oh, brilliant!
When I uploaded the full cover on Instagram, Adam liked it, so I haven't had any exposure from Daniel yet. I want it.
That's great. That's great though. That they've always been one to sort of care about their fans. Bury Tomorrow. I remember when we saw them at Download 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Was it 2 years ago? Or was it last year?
2 years, I think.
2 years.
Yeah.
2 years ago, wasn't it? They offered to basically
meet everyone,
hang out just with everyone immediately after the show. Everyone in the audience.
Yeah. And like Danny as well, he works in the NHS. He's like I think he's a communications manager.
He does. So yeah, I saw that.
To balance that out with doing this is insane. Props to him for that, and he's
absolutely, yeah.
So that's why that's partly why he's very vocal about the NHS on speaking up for the NHS on Twitter and things.
Well, yeah. So that was Dark Infinite by Bury Tomorrow. I enjoyed that.
It was good, wasn't it? Like it just keeps you going.
Great.
Yeah. So I think the quality in that was I will
definitely get around to listening to the whole album at some point. It's just I've got such ADHD when it comes to music.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I was just gonna say, I know you got ADHD, Rob. No, no, it's.
I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure if I do have ADHD. I might do, but I don't want to.
I don't think. I don't know.
I don't want to look into.
I don't know, and I don't care. No.
But I will listen to Cannibal at some point because I know it's one of your favorite albums of the year, right?
Yeah. There's plenty few, and whenever I make my top 10 list in December, we'll find out exactly what I think of the albums this year. The top 10 or top 15 or top 20 depends what I want to rank on the list. We'll see. Anyway, we've got
last segment, I believe.
Would you rather?
Would you rather, our regular recurring last segment, whereby I go on to signupgenius.com, and this site has provided me with 100 would you rather questions that I ask here, and I ask him to pick a number, and then we discuss the resulting question. Okay. So, Kieran, can I have a number between 1 and 100, please?
99. Have I done 99?
Yes, you already have done 99.
100. Let's go 100. Big one.
100. Okay. Would you rather have a family of 12 children or never be able to have children at all?
That is so easy. Never.
Never.
I mean, I'm not even that big on having kids anyway, so that's a no-brainer for me.
You can't see yourself as a parent?
It's not that I can't see myself as it. It's just like it's not my main priority in life. Like I am the kind of person to focus on my relationship and my career and friendship group. And I do have that slight fear of kids taking up a bit of that. So I'd rather have kids later on in my life if I was.
Yeah, a slight fear of kids. Full stop. Yeah. No, I mean I'm with you there. You get people who really, really love children. Not in that way.
But I think me and Kate were talking about this yesterday, and because
they love like being able to have kids and watching them grow and taking them out, and
it's when I see those. But
12 of them though, I think that's a bit excessive.
That's just too much. Like there's enough kids in Haunting of Hill House, so.
Yeah, that's an easy one for me. So, no children.
Okay.
I would rather just. I need to be in a relationship first, obviously, but
you can always go to Sperm Bank.
We'll see if that goes anywhere. It won't. Spoiler alert.
Don't be too hard on yourself, dude.
Yeah,
you're a good guy. And you'll find someone who's right for you.
Especially in this lockdown period where I do know people that have gone on dates and things during lockdown, but I just feel like you wouldn't get the most out of it.
Well,
at this current stage,
like me and Katie, it was very much what's the word? Like Tinder and everything like that was a needle in a haystack, and it took me ages to find someone that I believe was right for me, and there was definitely attempts before that, and it happens. It happens at different stages, and nobody's the same, and the most important thing is to like not compare yourself to anyone else, like. Not saying you do, but I think it's very important when it comes to finding someone or something, really. But anyway, let's move.
Sure.
We'll move.
So let's
Sorry for
move
that
on. I
heavy
think
one, but
we're unanimous in saying don't have children rather than 12 kids.
yeah,
Another number, please.
1.
1. Oh, okay. Would you rather? I like this one a lot, actually. Would you rather go into the past and meet your ancestors, or go into the future and meet your great great grandchildren?
Oh,
That's a great question.
I don't know. Like, I think my ancestors were quite close to the Normans, and I don't really want to have my head chopped off. And plus, I read on Ancestry or something like that one of my relatives died on the Titanic, so I wouldn't want to go down with that ship.
Yeah.
So
I wonder when they say ancestors, I wonder how far back that would refer to, because I don't want to go back to like caveman times.
Yeah, I would probably
Maybe if you can choose to go back to a specific part of history,
well,
that'd be pretty cool.
The thing is, I think you could probably go back in time and see, like you've got crimes and things like that aren't 100% proven, or you want them to be 100% proven. You can go back in the past and say you're going to meet your ancestors, but you're actually going to go and see what actually happened at that moment, at that time. And you can give that evidence back to the future and go, this is what happened, with OJ or something like that. So that'd be quite useful. There's more reasons for that. Whereas going into the future is very much, when is climate change going to be much more of an issue? What's going to happen? When are the UK going to have a good prime minister?
Are we going to still be stuck in this bloody pandemic?
Yeah, exactly. So I think,
but yeah, essentially,
I would say future personally, because I think it's more useful.
Okay. I mean, I'd rather there are some days where I'd rather the future was ambiguous.
I think
that you create your own destiny, and you don't cheat yourself out of it by going forward and seeing what has actually happened.
Yeah, I think for me, it's you can't change the past, but you can alter the future, because by changing the present.
Sure.
So I'm going to.
But say you go and meet your great great grandchildren, they're in horribly destitute and in poverty, and you have to make it the rest of your life's mission up to that point to not to eradicate that, from ever happening.
Yeah,
you'd be under so much pressure, Whereas I'd rather go back and also see something that's already happened, and I don't know, it'll just be interesting to see how people, what my ancestors were like, if they were revered, if they were panned by people. I don't know.
I don't know.
My origins. I'd like to find out my origins. You know what? I've always wondered where my surname came from, actually.
It came from this podcast, obviously.
Yeah, the key art. No, but my surname is so unique, and it's like, if I do say so myself. But I've seen very little about the etymology of it. And it'd just be interesting to see. Apparently, it is German, and it means something to do with fame, like wants fame. I think it translates to.
Oh,
which is quite apt.
Which is quite apt. Why you're creating the podcast?
Which is quite apt for me, really, because I do want a slight bit of notoriety, whether it be my music or this podcast or whatever. But yeah, no, I just like to see my ancestors, I think.
Okay, that sounds good. So you're for the past, and I'm more for the future. Okay.
Okay. Right. We'll do one last one, and then we'll wrap this shambles up.
Okay. I'm gonna go with 50.
50. Okay. Would you rather spend a day with your favorite athlete or your favorite movie star?
Ooh. Well, I feel like I'd have more of a career of some sort in movies, so probably favorite movie star, and that would probably be Tom Hanks. Is one of those.
I was going to say Tom Hanks as well. Either him or Brad Pitt. I do like Brad Pitt.
And I could
he's responsible for my favorite movie of all time, which is Fight Club. So
I was going to say something very, very bad then. But,
You know what? You were you looked like you were frozen there. You were sort of your mouth agape just off like that.
I was like saying, should I say it? Should I not? But no, I'm not going to say it.
Don't say no. I think I know what you're talking about, but don't bring that up.
You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Athlete for me. If I can meet Dennis Bergkamp, who is my favourite footballer of all time, and hang out with him for a day, I could die a happy man.
Who's my favourite footballer of all time? I really admire Ronaldinho. I think he's just absolutely exceptional.
Who's your favourite Spurs player of all time? I don't think we've ever covered this.
Might be Bale, actually. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good shout. That's good. That's not a bad shout at all.
I mean, it would have to be either Bale or Aaron Lennon was good as well.
I mean, makes sense. Bale played for Tottenham. He's Welsh, you know.
Lennon was good as well. What was his name? That defender who's their coach now. I can't remember his name. Spurs.
Pochettino. I mean, he was a defender.
I don't think he was in the actual
for Spurs?
Team. Ledley King, that's the one. He's exceptional.
King, really?
It
just shows the gulf between the histories of Arsenal and Spurs that I can name people like Dennis Bergkamp, Thierry Henry,
Sol Campbell.
And you can name Ledley King. Yeah, Sol Campbell. Sol Campbell is a weird man.
Yeah.
I've got to say, he's, as much as I love him, he's a strange man.
Yeah.
And if you've seen any of his Twitter videos or TikTok, probably, actually knowing how mentally is, he probably is on TikTok, but seeing some of the videos he's posted in the past, I mean, my God. Athlete, I just love to hang out with Dennis Bergkamp for a day.
Yeah.
Just chat. I just say, what's it like being Dennis Bergkamp, being the greatest footballer in the history of football?
Yeah, I just can't really say much for Sol Campbell because to me, as you know, he's a traitor.
Well, he's not your favourite athlete, so that's fair enough. But what would you ask Gareth Bale if you met him?
I would think, based on what's happening right now, are you glad you didn't go to China?
Wow. And on that note, I think we're going to wrap this shambles up.
All right. Until next time, guys. So thank you guys for watching. Rob's got his Twitter.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We've had a lot of people in the chat today, and it's been fantastic to be interacting with you. If you do want to keep up with our podcast, you can either follow Kieran's Twitch. So I'm going really slowly because the hangover is creeping up on me. But Kieran Benji on Twitch, where you're watching this probably right now. KEYRUNBENGJI. And that's where we broadcast, usually every Saturday at 2. We also have a YouTube channel now called the Keyard Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find optimized clipped versions from each individual podcast, as well as the entire podcast in full each week. And just thanks for all the support, and thank you for tuning in.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you guys, and we'll be back next week. I don't know what the situation is going to be because the Premier League's back on. We may have to switch it around from time to time to make up for, because we don't want to get too distracted by one of our games is on and then the podcast is at a certain time. So it may be an hour in front, maybe an hour behind. We'll see how it goes.
Maybe on the dot, perhaps. We could do an hour from 2.
Yeah. It depends really. We'll see how it goes. We'll discuss it, and
we'll keep you all posted.
Absolutely. Well, guys, until next time, thank you, and lights out.